Hello and welcome back to the Lit Cave. My name is Brian and I'm here to talk to you today about what I'm planning on reading in February. And since February is the shortest month of the year, I decided to choose the most possible books to read during this month because I make smart choices. So, let's get started. I mentioned in my January wrap-up video that I'm currently reading 3 books. So if you haven't seen that video, the 3 books that I'm currently reading are Addicted to Busy by Brady Boyd, which is a book about kind of getting your life rhythms in sync with God rather than letting yourself be so busy all day, every day that you lose sight of the things that are important. And I'm really enjoying that book. I'm going to continue to read it. I read that in the mornings, 1 chapter a morning, and so I'll finish that pretty soon. It's not a very long book, and I'm about a fourth of the way through it. I am reading A Tale of Two Cities, and I have this beautiful Penguin hardcover classic edition, and I'm about 180 pages into that out of about 390. I'm reading it with my students, and so I have to finish it by the end of the 6 weeks, and I'm about 2 weeks into that. So I'm going to continue to read that, hopefully keep up a pace that is decent so that I can have it all fresh in my mind as we discuss it in class. But that's obviously by Charles Dickens. Very difficult book to read if you're not used to it, but I really am enjoying it. It was definitely one of my favorite books when I was a student, so I'm happy to read it again. The 3rd book I'm currently reading is the 2nd book in the Castro Chronicles series by Cami Garcia and Margaret Stoll, and that's called Beautiful Darkness. So I had read Beautiful Creatures before and I really enjoyed it, and I watched the movie. I thought the movie was okay, obviously a lot different. But I was interested in reading the rest of the series, but I kept reading really bad reviews about the last 3 books in the series, but I decided to give it a go. So I'm about halfway through Beautiful Darkness right now, and I'm enjoying it. I think it's pretty good. But I've still got 250 pages or so to go, plus I've got the remaining 2 books in the series, which I hope to read in February. So hopefully I'll continue to like the series. I hate to invest a bunch of time and not like it. So I'm reading Beautiful Darkness right now, and when I finish with Beautiful Darkness, I'm going to read Beautiful Chaos, which is book 3, and Beautiful Redemption, which is book 4. And I hope to get through all 3 of those this month. If you're not familiar with the series, essentially what the series revolves around is kind of a world of magic. We have different kinds of magical beings, such as casters, which are kind of like what we would think of when we think of witches or warlocks or something like that, who have magical abilities, but their abilities vary, and their abilities are related in a lot of ways to different types of mythology. For instance, some casters might be sirens, which means the things that they say can influence you to behave in the way in which they want you to behave. So it's pretty interesting the way that it's marrying sort of, in some cases it's marrying religious mythology, the idea of incubi and succubi, with witchcraft in a way, and then with mythology like sirens and those kind of things. So pretty interesting series, and I hope to continue reading those, and I hope that I enjoy them. I've got 3 graphic novels that I want to read during this month. I have Superman Earth 1 Volume 3 by J. Michael Straczynski. I've talked about the Earth 1 universe before on this channel, but the Earth 1 comics by DC Comics are straight to graphic novels. They don't come out as individual comics and then get collected into graphic novels. They're released straight to graphic novel, and they do not have to adhere at all to the continuity of the DC universe, which is the New 52 universe. And so it gives them a lot of freedom to just kind of do their own thing. And J. Michael Straczynski, who's been the author for the Superman series so far, is a really interesting author to choose. He created the TV show Babylon 5, and he's written a lot of TV shows. I've read Superman Earth 1 Volume 1 and 2 before, and absolutely loved them. So I'm really looking forward to reading Earth 1 Volume 3. And that one, actually, it's not quite out yet, but I've already pre-ordered it, so it'll be in as soon as it comes out, which is like February 10th or something like that. My laundry's done. And then I want to read Boxers and Saints, which is a duology by Jean Luen Yang. And I might have mispronounced his middle name. But this is actually sort of a graphic historical fiction revolving around the Boxer Rebellion of China. And I love history, so I'm really interested to read this and really interested to see kind of where it's going. And graphic novels are things that you can read really quickly, so they're nice to add to your TBR to kind of give you a break in between big books. So that right there has me already at, let's see, 3, 4, 5, at like 7 or 8 books already. But I'm not done, because I would also like to read during this month. I've pre-ordered Fairest, which I was hoping would come in at the end of January. But when I ordered, I forgot to say, ship them as they become available, so it's not going to come till my other pre-orders are out. But Fairest is the prequel novel. It's a shorter novel, just a couple hundred pages or so, to the Lunar Chronicles, which follows Queen Lavanna, who is the antagonist of the series, based off of the Wicked Queen from Snow White. And I loved the Lunar Chronicles, so I'm super excited to read Fairest. I can't wait to read it and see what I think. And since it's shorter, it'll probably be an easy read. I also pre-ordered The Shadow Cabinet by Maureen Johnson, which is the 3rd book in the Shades of London series. The first 2 books are called The Name of the Star and The Madness Underneath. And really interesting series. I've really enjoyed it so far. Maureen Johnson's a really funny writer. She does a good job of combining, scary, intense, serious, those kinds of things with funny, because she's got a great sense of humor. So I'm looking forward to reading The Shadow Cabinet. I've really liked the first 2 books in the series, and so I can't wait to pick this one up. And this follows a young girl from New Orleans who's living in London, and she's able to see some things in the supernatural realm that other people can't see. And so she becomes involved in that world. So another thing I'm definitely going to read this month, even if some of these other things get put off, is the first book in the Mistborn trilogy, which is called The Final Empire. And this is by Brandon Sanderson. And this is the first book in the hashtag Year of Cosmere event that a lot of booktubers are taking part in this year, where they try to read everything Brandon Sanderson's written pretty much in the year. And I don't know if I'm going to get to read all that stuff, but I really wanted to read the Mistborn trilogy. I've heard nothing but good things. So I'm going to start out the Mistborn trilogy with everyone else this year. And still, I'm kind of thinking I'm not going to get to these last 3 books because of how many books are on this list. But if I don't, they'll move into the March TBR, and that's okay. And that's the Grisha Trilogy, which is Shadow and Bone, Siege and Storm, and Ruin and Rising. And these are by Leigh Bardugo. And I don't know a whole lot about these, except for from what I understand, these are sort of supernatural novels based in historical Russia. So I've heard good things about the series, and so I can't wait to read them and see what I think. And I know a friend of mine, Samantha, whose channel I'll link below, she just finished the series, and she said that she was wrecked, and she was kind of not sure how to process being done with the series, so I'm looking forward to reading that as well. So that puts me at like 14 books for February when there's only 28 days. I'm pretty sure I'm not going to read a book every 2 days. So I probably won't get through all those books, but that's okay. For me, a TBR, again, is kind of like the Pirate Code. It's just kind of guidelines. I try to get through some of these books. It gives me an idea where to go. But if I don't finish something, I'll move it into March, and I'll move stuff in March into April, and so on and so forth. And that's okay with me. Because I already own so many of these books, I don't have to buy anything else this month to read. Except the Boxers and Saints duology I don't own. I've borrowed those from my librarian at the school that I teach at. So looking forward to that. So that's it. That's what I'm going to read in the month of February. Leave a comment down below and let me know what you plan on reading. Until the next video, see you same lit time, same lit channel.